Ooh, one of the best under $100 purchases I've ever made was a membership to the American Association of Museums. You know, it was under $100 because I was a student at the time, but it gives you free access to all of these museums across the country. And you know, that's actually a great reminder. I should purchase one again. I'm sure it's more than $100 now if you're not a student, but you know, I still got my NYU ID, so we'll see if we can finesse that. But it's such an important part of being a creative and a professional one at that. I recommend anybody going to museums, but if you are not engaged with art proactively as a creator, you're kind of missing half of the job. You're missing half the work. And I definitely say that would be a 2019 mood, is getting myself out of this beautiful office now into the world and engaged more with artists of the past, but you know, most importantly of now, the present. Yeah. The latest binge in my Netflix was Russian Doll with Natasha Lyonne. I mean, talk about a metaphor for mental health. Talk about just an incredible actress. It was a worthy binge, and it was kind of like, you know, the Game with Michael Douglas meets Groundhog Day meets Get Out. I don't know. It was just this wonderful combination. And I mean, listen, I'm a dark comedy girl. Like, send dark comedy my way. But that was my most recent binge, and I recommend it for anybody, but particularly if you're struggling with mental health, because it really hits home for sure. If I'm talking about the most inspiring book for me as an artist, it actually isn't a book that had much to do with being an artist. You know, I think the typical recommendations are like The Artist's Way or How to Steal Like an Artist, and those are wonderful books, but the book that actually came up in discussion recently at the office was the Eckhart Tolle book. What's it called? Here Now? The Power of Now. And it is such an incredible way for you to tap into your intuition and tap into your present moment. I mean, your responsibility as an artist is to take the things that are intangible, that are in the universal consciousness of the world, and bring them out into the world and out through your medium, out through your body and your consciousness, and get it engaged with an audience, and to be able to build these conversations, because that has been the tool of art since the beginning of time, right? It's a mirror up to ourselves, to society, and it builds this discussion. And so for me, that book was truly transformational, not only for me as an artist, but for me as a human being. Yeah. My therapy is actually going to therapy, but my therapy is absolutely my artistic process. My therapy is my daily meditation practice. My therapy is my constant striving for the deconditioning of who I was told I was supposed to be. And it comes in many ways, shapes, and forms. But therapy is something that is like exercise, you know. Mental health, which is something that I learned recently, is very different from mental illness and requires a bit of exercise. So the therapy can come in many forms, but again, a healthy mind is a healthy artist, and yeah, it's important. Oh God, I mean, you know, I feel like a lot of the other people who are going to do the 10 questions at our company are going to say this, but let me tell you, when you're the first one in this office in the morning and it's bright and you just get that of light, it's like a religious experience. There's something about the energy that is put into this space and the light that reflects off these white floors that you just feel so invited. It's like, yeah, God, it makes you feel powerful, but not in your ego. You know what I mean? It's a special type of power. So yeah, I mean, not to oversell the space, but I mean, I would be lying if that wasn't one of the many reasons why people are drawn here. It just instills this power in you. I think that's so wonderful. To dissect fear is to really slow down your mind. Remember, fear is like a reptilian brain response. It's like left over from when we were prey and we saw a bear and we're like, run. And so why fear can be so dangerous in the modern world is that it's actually bringing in a life or death response to something that isn't life or death. I recently went to a mentorship roundtable with this incredible woman named Sophia Chang. She's revolutionary. She is known for lots of work, but most famously for her managing some of the members of the Wu-Tang. And very much behind the scenes woman, but she said something today in the class that really stuck with me, because my question was, how do you negotiate if what's required to negotiate is your ability to walk away, but you're too broke to turn money away? Well, there's all this fear, like what if, and then she had a similar conversation with one of her mentors, and her mentor went, "Are you gonna die?" And I'm like, "No." She goes, "No, I'm not gonna die. Like, I might have to borrow a little money, but I'm not gonna die. It's okay." Bringing the baseline fear to that question and kind of like dissecting it. It's a wonderful process to make sure you're not projecting your feelings onto other people, and you're not, projecting anger onto other places, but it is a wonderful tool of deconditioning that response and giving yourself that power back. Like, no, I'm actually not that scared, or maybe I am scared, but it hasn't happened yet and it's not life or death. But our body with fear reacts life or death, and it feels that way. So to process fear means to slow down your thoughts and to just reflect for a moment and ask yourself questions. My ask of my community is to constantly hold a mirror up to me and continue to challenge me to be the best person that I can be. I think that that's something that's really important to remember about community. It's not just about having people sort of be like, "Go you, like you can do it." That's definitely a part of what we try and instill here. But it's also having that person that you trust, that is gonna tell you that you got a piece of salad in your teeth before you go outside, There's this wonderful story that I heard about Dr. Dre, about how he like purposefully doesn't put on deodorant, because if he walks around stinking at a party, if the person that tells him that he stinks is the person that doesn't want anything from him, that really is just trying to be like, "Hey dude." So metaphorically speaking, I think that that's what I'm looking for in community, and that's what I hold my community to responsible for. It's like, "Hey Daryl, did you ever think about this, or did you know you're doing that?" I don't take offense to that. Nobody who is in a good intention and is wanting to pursue and be a better person should be afraid of having somebody who cares about you say kindly, like, "Hey, like, you gotta put on some deodorant." Because when I came out of school, it wasn't there, and it was so disheartening to not have a space that provided the infrastructure and provided that transition point from student to actual full-time artist, and so much more than that. But it's probably the face that I make when I walk into the studio in the morning, and I feel that power in myself, but also in the space. It's just like, yeah. Well, something that I learned this week is, and I think that we practiced most recently, but is certainly a mood for all of 2019, is, especially in a city like New York, where it's like, you got to do the most in the least amount of work time. Like, jam-pack your days. Now, I've been asking myself, does that yield the best result? And if I'm in a very fortunate position where I can set my own deadlines, we still got to pay rent and hit our goals, but to never compromise the work. If you have the ability to take the time that you need for it to be its best, that includes yourself, whatever project it is, take the time that it deserves so that it can be the best thing that it can be. We are in a world now where it feels like time is running out. I don't know for what. There's so many things that are contentious in this world. If we're running out of time, it doesn't mean rush. It means make sure you're using your time well. And so, big mood this week is that our team took the time. I just think, be here now. Be here now, right? Pretty sure that is a billboard. Is that a Barbara Kruger thing? Is that a Barbara Kruger? Listen, whoever said that, shout out the credit in the comments below, because I don't know who, but I think that is just a wonderful reminder for all of us. Again, coming back to the state of the world and coming back to, the illusion of time going by so quickly. It is, I think you said this, right? Happiness isn't in the past and it's not in the future, so it has to be in the now. I mean, that's kind of mind-blowing when it's so simple, but yeah. be here now. I don't know. Paid for by Holyrad Studio.